Good morning, class. So after finishing the Mauryan Empire, today we are going to start with the Sangam Age, that is chapter 5, page number 51. Now, in the syllabus, sources from which we come to know about the Sangam Age are Tirukkural and Megaliths. So, in this chapter we are going to do a brief study of the society and economy of the Sangam Age. Please pick up your pencils, underline what you see underlined and write down the meanings which are there in the book. The Sangam Age is considered as a landmark in the history of South India. The word Sangam is the Tamil form of the Sanskrit Sangha, which means an association. Thus, the Sangam Age refers to the period when bulk of Tamil literature was composed by a body of Tamil scholars and poets in 3 successive literary gatherings called Sangam. How many of you have heard about the Jaipur Literature Festival? So, such things are based on what was happening in the ancient or medieval India also. Now, hence, Sangam, meaning confluence, refers to the gatherings of poets and bards. Now, bards are people who are tribal poets and compose heroic or epic verses. These took place between 1st century BC and 2nd century AD in the kingdom of Pandyas. What took place? The 3 successive literary gatherings called Sangam. Confluence is gathering. Now, it is believed that the first Sangam was attended by gods and legendary sages, but all its works have perished, that there is no written record left. Everything has been destroyed. The second Sangam, attended by several poets, produced a large mass of literature, but only Tolkappiyam by Tolkappiyar, the oldest book of Tamil grammar, has survived. Now, see children, because this is all over here when we are talking about the words in italics, then we are talking about the Tamil words. Or now you will find it strange hearing it from me, though I am not a South Indian, so I'll be making mistakes where the pronunciation is concerned, but let us go on. So, the third Sangam, attended by many poets, produced vast literature of which only a fraction has survived. I mean, the composition was vast, innumerable, but only a little of literature has survived. It is this fraction which constitutes the extant body of Sangam literature. Sangam extant is still existing. This fraction, whatever we have in Tamil literature, whatever literature is available here from that period, it is this particular percentage which has survived. Now, the 3 kingdoms of Cheras, Pandyas and Cholas were always at war with one another. So, underline that. Their wars and heroic deeds form the themes of Sangam literature. So, we talked about bards over here. So, heroic deeds, I told you, it's heroic or epic verses. According to these descriptions, Cheras had finally asserted their supremacy over the other 2 kingdoms. So, if these literature is to be believed, then the Cheras were more powerful than the other 2 kingdoms. Now, coming to the sources. The primary sources of information about the Sangam Age include the following. Tirukkural. Now, please underline, it is one of the most celebrated works of the 18 minor works. Patinankil Kanakku of the Sangam literature by Thiruvalluvar, Tamil poet and philosopher. Tirukkural or Kural is considered as a compound of the teachings of Dharma Shastra, compound made from joining. Dharma Shastra, the Earth Shastra and the Kam Sutra. It comprises a series of brief metrical proverbs, which are composed in meter or have a rhythm to it, on many aspects of life and religion. It is a collection of Tamil couplets organized into 133 chapters. Each chapter has a specific subject ranging from plowing a piece of land to ruling a country. It preaches simplicity and truth throughout its verses. The 133 chapters are grouped into 3 sections. This is important. Aram, which is righteousness, Porul, wealth, and Inbam or Kamam, pleasure. While Aram and Inbam discuss about ethical living in private life, Porul deals with public affairs. Now coming to Megaliths, the second source. These are huge stones found at most burial sites. A box-like structure was erected with the stone slabs resting on each other without any mortar. Sometimes there was an opening cut into one of the sides. These are also known as memorial stones. Now, renowned historian Champalakshmi has identified the Sangam Age with the last phase of the megalithic culture in the Tamil region. Which region particularly? The Tamil region. She has further identified the megalithic communities and the large agricultural settlement with Velar as chieftains and the Velala or the peasantry mentioned in the Sangam poets. Now she has substantiated, meaning to say she has proved, to prove the truth, she has for her the argument which she has put forward by relating or correlating the Velar settlements known from literature with the megalithic sites of the far south. So over here they have shown the megaliths over here, then there you have the megalith burial over here. So she has proved whatever theory she has put forward, she has evidence to prove it. Now this includes subsistence. What is subsistence? Things which we need to support life. Base consisting of agriculture, cattle rearing and fishing. The use of iron and a milieu in which warfare and weapons were important. Now let us come to the Tamil kingdoms. There were 3 important kingdoms, namely Chera, Chola and Pandya in the Tamil country during the Sangam Age. In addition to these 3 kingdoms, there were local chieftains. Let us first look at the Chera kingdom. The territory of the Sangam Cheras mostly consisted the present state of Kerala. The Chera Kings of the Sangam Age were known by many titles such as Vanavar, Vilavar and Malaya. There were 2 important lines of Chera Kings. So let us see what were the 2 important lines. The first one started from Udayan, Cheralatan and the second from Irumporai. The kings belonging to these 2 lines ruled the Chera kingdom. Their capital was Vanji and the chief port was Tondi. Their symbol on the flag was bow and arrow. Now, Cheran Sengotuvan was the most popular king of the Sangam Cheras. The Sangam works Padirupatu and Anana Nuru provide a lot of information about him. His brother Ilango Varigal composed the Tamil epic Silapadikaram, which tells about his military achievements. So all heroic deeds were written down over there. Sengotuvan led an expedition up to the Himalayas. He crossed the river Ganges and defeated his enemies. So if you keep the map of India in mind, then it was a long journey and a heroic journey for the king. On the Himalayas and hoisted the Chera flag. Patini cult, that is the worship of Kanagi as the ideal wife, was started by him. Now Padirupattu and Sangam literature give a long list of Chera kings. The most popular among them were Cheralathan and Peranchural, Irumporai and Kanaikakal Irumporai. Now coming to the Chola kingdom. The kingdom of the Sangam Cholas comprised the present Thanjavur and Tiruchirappalli districts. The Chola kingdom is referred to in the Sangam literature as Chonadu, Kaveri Nadu, Kaveri Nadu, Neenadu and Punar Nadu. These names indicate the rich water resources of the Chola country. So just underline these, children. The river Kaveri that flowed through the Chola kingdom made its soil fertile. Underline, river Kaveri is important. The capital of the Sangam Chola was Urayur. Their second capital was Kaveri Pattinam. It was also the chief port of the Sangam. Cholas underlined that. Their symbol was tiger. The Sangam literature mentions a number of Chola kings. They had surnames like Kili, Valavan, Chennai and Cholan. Now the most popular among the Sangam Cholas were Karikalan. The Sangam literature gives useful information about Karikalan. So please underline the popular was Karikalan. Even in his young age, he proved his extraordinary ability of settling the disputes in his kingdom. So he was a very good administrator. Now, as a warrior, let us see. He was a great warrior. He defeated the Chera and the Pandya kings at Venni. Please underline that. Which places? At Venni. In another battle, Karikalan defeated a confederacy of 9 princes. So there was they were allied. All these kingdoms, 9 kingdoms were allied, and he defeated them. He extended his kingdom beyond Kanchipuram. Karikalan had become popular for the development activities in his kingdom. So not just a good administrator and a warrior, he looked after the welfare of his subjects as well. He had encouraged the growth of agriculture as well as commerce. He had built the dam called Kalanani, please underline Kalanai, across the river Kaveri. Its water was used for irrigation. So all these know-hows or technologies, though in a rough form, existed in the first AD also. Karikalan had fortified the port city Kaveri Pumpatinam or Puhar and made it his capital, which flourished as a great center for trade. Merchants from foreign countries visited Puhar. Karikalan was generous towards Tamil poets and patronized them. So for today we'll just do this. The next video we'll do the Pandyan kingdom and learn other things. Please, I want you to go through Tirukukural and the Megaliths. Not very, it's just that spellings that you will find them very difficult. So I'll suggest that you write each and every spelling 10 times so that you can spell it correctly during your test. Rest of the things are very easy, not a lot of information. I've already told you what you need to learn. Anything which you have not understood, please underline and we will discuss it when the school reopens. Thank you.